Welcome everyone to the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina. Today we are here with Kim Bone, a graduate of the University of South Carolina, which the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina is based out of. We are going to highlight all the amazing work that she does for the community and at-risk students. And if you'd like, please comment below any of your aha moments that you receive from Kim or any of the information that she shares. So without further ado, Kim, I would love to introduce you to our viewers. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we just wanted to ask you a few questions, but first I'm going to introduce you since you are a graduate of the University of South Carolina, where you earned your master's in education and secondary business education. You also now work at Horry County Education Center, which is an alternative school for Horry County schools. Before that, you taught at Blythewood High School. You've had a lot of experience. And in reference to that, you've been serving at-risk students for a very long time. And something that you say is that showing at-risk kids that you care is the first step towards building a relationship, and building a positive relationship is paramount to being an efficient teacher. So that is an amazing segue into who you are. Thank you so much for being here. Do you mind to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a second career teacher. I didn't start out being a teacher. I was in graduate school to receive my master's in secondary business ed, but I wanted to focus more on corporate training and development. I was the director of information technology at the University of South Carolina for 14 years before entering the teaching profession. The only thing I did not do was student teach, and back then it was student teaching. And so I had to go through the PACE program to get my teacher certification. I finished the PACE program. I'm a national board certified teacher. I was first certified in 2010 and just received my renewal in 2020.
Woohoo! There's a round of applause. Thank you for sharing. Do you mind to tell us how you became the fabulous educator that you are? Was there anything in your history that led you into this? I know, as you said, you're a second career teacher, but what called you to it?
Well, I kind of had a tug that way a lot, but mainly when my older child hit middle school. I had served on the school improvement councils for his middle school for the 2 years that he was there. And I just kept continuously feeling a tug and a tug and a tug to move toward educating adolescents.
We are so thankful that you did, because your work speaks for itself. But do you mind to just share a few highlights about what highlights you as an educator and serving at-risk students?
What students normally take from a successful educational experience usually centers on a personal connection that they have with their teacher, who helped instill a passion and an inspiration for them. I kind of realized I became a teacher leader when I had former students texting and emailing and messaging me and coming back to school to tell me that they are who they were today because of me. And that's honestly not the truth. It's because of them. I did some very small things to make them connect to me that made them feel like I did a big thing for them, which I did not. They're the ones who exercise their own intrinsic and extrinsic desires to become who they are on that particular day, and I constantly tell them that. I've got an entire bulletin board full of letters from students that are thanking me at this school, in addition to the many. I just received a private message from a student of mine that was in my DECA club at Blythewood, and it's always, I always get them at a point when I really need them to. You know, all kids deserve the right to learn, and it's important that we stay on top of things, because what we say and do with them can affect their lives forever. And trust me, there's no better feeling than knowing you've impacted the lives of so many students. And to me, that's the best highlight of my work in education. The majority of my teaching career was at Blythewood High School with at-risk students in a program called Career Prep. Career Prep is not a standard diploma track program, but it's for students who have struggled to earn the credits they need to work toward graduation. They were 17 and 18-year-olds sitting in English 1 and Algebra 1 courses with 14-year-olds. And basically they were at risk of dropping out. So Richland 2 had this program that they work with business partners to develop that what would business and industry need for students, and this was what that program focused on. It was developed before I came there, but I wholeheartedly believe in that program. I believe every school district in the state needs that program. It's a safety net for students who would have otherwise dropped out. They have to earn a bronze level work key score for National Career Readiness certification. They also have to earn one other industry certification before they can graduate from the program. But in addition, they have to work 200 hours and have positive evaluations in that job and have that job at graduation, because it teaches work ethic, which is something that's lacking a lot these days, because students aren't, these days don't tend to seem to be responsible for actions or anything that they do. So they could just up and willy-nilly quit a job and then boom, no, your hours have to start all over again. So we try to reinforce work ethic, what it takes to become a good civilian, job readiness, and as well as life skills math and life skills English things they would need. Now, with that said, one of my proudest moments is one of my students that interviewed at Michelin in Lexington. He was a career prep student. Now, I understand he was not getting a regular high school employability credential. His school just wasn't for him. His dad had a 4-year degree in computer science. His mom was a support staff person in the district. There was no type of kid that fit that program. They came from all walks of life. This particular student had a silver level with work keys, and I heard the plant manager speak at a conference, and I went and talked to him afterwards, and he said he wanted my young man to apply, and he did. He went through a 2-interview process, and he actually got the job. They started him out at a higher rate than they had expected because he scored so high on his OSHA tests that they gave him, and now he's a bull supervisor, and that's a shift supervisor for Michelin, and he's making 6-figure salary right now. So that program to me is near and dear to my heart, and it does do a lot for the students that are in that program. I've had students that have joined the Army. They are one that's become a merchant marine. He used to come back every year to tell the students, you better listen to her. But yeah, I've been known as the mother hen that kind of knows when to peck and how to peck when I need to keep them in line. So I guess that's the biggest tough love I can give for them, is to be the mother hen that knows when to peck, I guess.
I love that. The way that you talk, you're just saying you empower students and you build relationships with them through empowerment. And that is so beautiful. Your quote at the end of all of your emails is, every student is one caring adult away from being a success story. And it's obvious that you believe that.
I do, and I only do small things that I would expect anybody to do, just to give them the opportunity to realize that they have that potential. I mean, even with taking risks in the classroom, they can watch me take risks, and they watch how I handle the failure and my own risk taking. And I believe that's just as equally important as it is the content that I'm teaching them. And it's okay. I try to teach my students too, it's okay to fail. Your last failure or mistake is your next learning opportunity. So you learn from that failure and you don't repeat it. And that's what makes you better and better as you go, is having those learning experiences that include failure.
So true. So true. Last question for you, Kim, because I know that you're working today and in your planning period. So thank you so much for being here with us. Last question, any advice, tips, tricks, empowerment for your fellow teachers as we move forward with this year?
One of the things that I find that a lot of teachers don't understand is that, learning doesn't really happen in a vacuum. Depression, anxiety, and mental stress have had a severe impact on the educational process today. To me, it's crucial that the teacher take the whole child into account. We may have the funniest, innovative lessons, but if one of your students stayed up all night because he just learned that his father and mother are getting a divorce, or he was packing up because they were evicted, or he was behind a restaurant jumping in a dumpster to get food to eat for that night, no matter what your lesson is, you're not going to reach that kid. Connecting to your students on an emotional level makes it more likely that they'll listen to you when you offer advice and they take it to heart. The kids that need the most love will ask for it in the most unloving ways. They're the ones that are disruptive during class. We need to have more empathy and compassion for these students, and the absolute ultimate way to achieve this is to develop a solid relationship with all of your students and their parents. The parents are the key when teaching at-risk students. Once you get their support, everything else seems to be really easy. You don't know what you don't know. So I have my students complete interest inventories the first day of class or the first day the student is in class, which isn't always the first day of class. At least once a week, I type what I read in several student inventories to the material that we are currently covering. It helps the student connect to the classroom, to real life, and it makes it relevant to what interests them as well, and it makes them take note. Oh, Miss Bond remembered that about me. Oh, isn't this cool? So when you go the extra mile for children and their families, they will turn that nurturing to you. It's worth the effort tenfold. Don't be too serious all the time. Some days fun should be the goal. When students feel that you're human and you can have fun, it builds a foundation of trust and respect. Fun and education aren't mutually exclusive of each other. I mean, using humor can even make the most mundane topic a little bit more interesting.
Thank you for those fabulous reminders. Really appreciate it. It's always important to remember to laugh and connect and show empathy for yourself and your students and build that connection with your students as well as the parents. Some really great reminders and important anytime, but especially now.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kim. We really appreciate you being here from the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you so much.